So, Marjorie, one of our first meetings, I don't even think the ink was dry on your election certificate. And without an appointment, you barged into my office, threw everyone out, sat down, looked me dead in the eye and said, "We have to impeach Joe Biden." How did you know so early?
Well, you know, there's a certain guy named Tony Bobulinski that popped back in the news today. You guys remember him? Yeah, well, I talked to him a good bit before I made it to Congress, and we all know Joe Biden is corrupt, right? And Matt knows me really well. Yes, I do have articles of impeachment drawn up to submit tomorrow. Because I believe in firing people when they're corrupt and they do a bad job. And Joe Biden is failing America, and he needs to be impeached. We have a national security crisis at our southern border, ladies and gentlemen. And Joe Biden left Americans behind in Afghanistan at the mercy of the Taliban. That is not a president representing the United States of America, and we're filing articles of impeachment on Joe Biden tomorrow.
If Donald Trump were still president, do you think there'd be any Americans stranded behind enemy lines in Afghanistan? If that happened, the bombs would be dropping on the heads of the Taliban from a very high altitude until the Americans were returned. That is exactly what would happen if Donald Trump was president. Now, Marjorie, you have ruffled some feathers recently. I'll give you a little gossip inside of Congress. Marjorie has been group texting members of Congress insisting that they vote against this Green New Deal legislation. Marjorie, how have some of the Republicans reacted to your text messages?
Well, not all of them agree with me, Matt, which is really hard for me to understand, as you know, because
some of them are like, "New phone, who dis?" You know?
Yeah, exactly. Or they just don't text back. You see, I believe in holding people accountable because I've been a business owner for a really long time. And I also believe you talk to your team, you know, the people you work with, your employees. And after all, Matt and I are a team, and we have other great colleagues like Jim Jordan and Andy Biggs and Louis Gohmert and Paul Gosar and many of the Freedom guys. We're all a team, and we believe that our leadership should talk with us, right? Well, coming up on these two bills that we're going to be voting on, $1.2 trillion of your dollars, infrastructure, Green New Deal, $3.5 trillion budget, Green New Deal. You would think that we would all be communicating. So I've been basically yelling at everyone, vote no. You people should vote no. Why is the Republican conference not whipping these votes on both of these bills, not just one, because I've only heard about one? Should be both of them vote no. What about for the People's Act, really against the People's Act that we're going to have to vote on next week? We haven't heard a word about that. Can you imagine showing up to work and not hearing from your boss or your supervisor or the people you work with about the job that you're doing every single day? That doesn't happen in the real world, but that's how it works in Washington. No, it doesn't work, actually.